Chris Wynn. I'm a lead producer on Gears of War 3 at Microsoft Game Studios. We're here at PAX East showing off Gears of War 3. This is the actual beta build that we're going to put out in April 25th. And so, obviously, Gears of War 3, probably the most anticipated game of 2011. It's just way bigger and way better than anything we've done in 1 or 2. I've had a lot of time to put into development and a lot of polish that we put in, especially in the last 6 months or so. And the game's really shaping up to be one of the best ones yet. For sure better in just about every area than Gears 2, especially in multiplayer. So we're bringing big enhancements to Gears 3 multiplayer by adding dedicated servers. And so what dedicated servers do is it takes out a lot of the problems we have with Gears 2. It gets rid of the lag, it gets rid of cheating. So we had some hosts had an advantage to be able to cheat in Gears 2. And so that's gone with dedicated servers, and they're very reliable. So if you're playing on a dedicated server and a host quits out, maybe he has to go have dinner or whatever, the game will just migrate to a different host, and you'll keep playing. You won't even know that anything happened. You'll add another player to the game, and you'll just keep rolling along like you never knew. And so, adding just a lot of great enhancements to the game to make it better that are that we think it deserves the title of the most anticipated game of 2011.
How many maps are coming out with the game?
We're actually still working on that. So, in the beta, we have 4 of our maps. We picked 2, and we had the fans pick 2. And so we're playing with numbers that range anywhere, from 8 up to 14. And so we're trying to find the right balance. It's about which ones we can tune to be good. We don't want to put out a map that's no good. So where can we put the focus? Which ones have the most potential? And we'll put the work into those and ship those with the game.
Now, not only will the beta have dedicated servers, but also the actual game, when it's released, September 20th.
That's right, yeah. The full game will release on September 20th. The big reason for doing a beta for us is to test that new back end, those dedicated servers. The one thing we can't have happen is when Gears 3 comes out, and on day 1 we have problems with multiplayer, because then people give up on it right away, right? So with the beta, that allows us to make sure that those dedicated servers are all running great, they're running smooth. We can work out any of the kinks that we find early on. And then on day 1, the thing will be ready to go. One thing that always happens is, we develop a game and we put a lot of testing into it, tons and tons of hours, but we can't test scale the way you can when a game goes out on day 1. Millions of people are going to buy the game the first day, and they're going to play it, and they're going to get online, and we just can't replicate that in a testing environment. And so at the beta, that gets us a lot closer.
So the game is going to be 5v5?
We have a bunch of different modes, but yeah, 5 versus 5 in competitive multiplayer, which is few modes. We're bringing in Team Deathmatch, which is new to Gears 3, a little bit of Gears flavor. So each team starts with a certain number of respawns, and then every time you die, you use a respawn, and the first team that has everyone die and is out of respawn, they lose. And so it's kind of a unique twist. As opposed to playing up to a number, you're kind of playing down and making sure that that you're trying to make sure that you balance that out and don't use all your respawns. But, and then we also have, Horde is coming back, which is a 5-player cooperative mode. And last year we talked about Beast, which is another new 5-player cooperative mode as well.
Now, Beast mode, you're able to choose from the different Beast characters, of course.
Yeah, you play as, it's really cool, you play as the Locust. And so we're trying to spin it a little bit differently in that, you kind of have the campaign, you have 4-player co-op, you have Horde. Those are all kind of long experiences. And so when we look at Beast, we're trying to come up with something that you can sit down and have a ton of fun with in maybe an hour or maybe 45 minutes. And so, the idea of the game is you get to choose any or a bunch of the different locusts, and the COG have fortified themselves on a position in the map. And it's up to you and your teammates to go destroy them all. And so you have a time limit to try to go and kill them. And you run out of time, you lose. So the goal of the game is to kill everyone before the time runs out.
So for the people who didn't like Gears of War 2, tell them why they should definitely play Gears of War 3.
I'll start with the campaign. And so we brought in Karen Travis to write the story for Gears 3. And she's brought a new angle and a new level of obsession to the story and the writing that we haven't seen yet. So the story in Gears 3 is just really, really tight, really well told. It takes you through a great experience. And then when you look at everything we've done with multiplayer and bringing in dedicated servers and adding team deathmatch, there's a whole unlock system. You can see right now on the screen there's a flaming lancer. So we have all these different weapon skins they kind of collect and unlock. There's characters, ribbons, and medals, and of course the leveling system that we introduced to Gears 2 in a title update. And so just multiplayer alone has so many new enhancements. It's way more competitive, it's fair, it's fun, it's fast. You definitely want to get in, no matter what you heard about Gears 2.
Tell us about the sound in Gears of War 3. Have you guys improved the sound, and how?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking at it. There's dedicated audio engineers that are doing everything they can to make it sound better and better. We're bringing back Steve Jablonski to do the musical score. Obviously he did the Transformers score as well, the movies. And so all new music, it'll be great. And then you just look at what we've done with our voice actors and all the sound effects to make it just really, really immersive and make it feel like you're there and make it very, very believable. Definitely an improvement.
What about surround sound? Tell me, for competitive gaming, surround sound is becoming something that's very, very important.
Yeah, and the Xbox supports the Dolby Digital out, and so the game does play in surround sound. So all you guys with those awesome home theater setups, I'm a bit of a home theater buff, so I have a big one at home as well. Yeah, you'll get great surround sound all around you. Feels awesome. You can hear somebody scream behind you, and kind of freaks you out, makes you turn around sometimes.
Now I've noticed that you guys have also put a lot of emphasis and detail in the levels, just doing things that have never been done before.
Yeah, that's really an Epic trademark. Their art talent is just top of the world. They put so much work into the levels, the characters, everything. Their bar is so high that just makes it look fantastic. And of course, it's running in the latest Unreal Engine, so you get all the new effects. We have new lighting effects. We have a lot of dynamic effects in the environments. So one of the maps in the beta called Trenches is kind of out in this deserty, rocky area. And in the middle of the match, you'll hear a big horn blow, and then a big dust storm rolls in. It totally changes the game for a little bit. You can only see a few feet in front of you, so then you want to switch to your shotgun and start running around looking for people. And it becomes kind of like close quarters battle, and it's great in that we kind of add these things to change the gameplay dynamically, but not in such a way that it makes it, kind of cheesy or unfair. Comes in, it happens for a few seconds, you make a strategic adjustment, and then it goes away and you're back to what you're used to. And a lot of the maps have those kind of elements, and so it's something that's new and it's really cool.
All right, have you guys considered kill cam?
We consider everything. So when you look at the video game and market in general, we look at what all the competitors are doing. Ultimately, you're not going to see it in Gears 3. It's something that we always talk about. If all of our fans, it's something they really want, then it's something that we'd obviously look at, even harder, and maybe something that you add to a title update. But in terms of shipping the game, we focused on everything that's there, and kill cam is not going to be in there from the start.
Will not be in there, but it is possible maybe to add it down.
Yeah, I mean, lots of things are possible. I mean, we talk about everything and just all kinds of stuff that we could do, maybe we want to do, and it all comes down to what makes sense strategically and what makes sense for the fans.
Now, what about on the maps? Will there be any time of day changing, any weather changes on the maps?
Those are things that we've obviously experimented with. We felt like they didn't add enough to the gameplay to really go with, and so that's why we ended up with the dust storm I just described. Other maps have different things. So there's a map called Thrashball, which is an old Thrashball stadium. There's a big scoreboard that can drop down and crush people. So that's sort of like a similar kind of element. So it's bringing those dynamic elements into the environments, but just not necessarily as what you'd expect with a time of day change or a weather change.
What about the indestructible environments? Have you guys increased that at all?
We definitely try to use it more. You can break cover, you can shoot the walls and see them destruct and stuff like that. A lot of that is balancing. It's a performance thing. How much of that can you do and still have good game performance and have the game run well? And so, we're always balancing it and trying to do as much as we can. I'd say there's definitely more than Gears 2.
Very good, very good. And would you compare this game more to Gears 1 or Gears 2?
Wow, that's a good question. I would probably compare it I'd compare it a little bit more to 1 in just that it feels, and I say that because it feels more new. Yeah, it feels more new than what 2 did compared to 1, right? And so,
well, the graphics are better than 2.
No, absolutely.
And are better than 1.
Yep.
In many people's opinion, the graphics on Gears 1 was better than Gears 2.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. And now it looks like you've brought them both together. The lighting dynamics, the graphics, all the detail in the levels that you've gone through. And probably more important would be the actual gameplay. It looks like to me that you have spent an incredible amount of time making sure that this is good for multiplayer. Now, Gears 2 had an incredible story, a incredible single-player mode, but this game looks like it's going to shine. I mean, who knows? Maybe on the story mode, but also it looks like it's really going to shine on the multiplayer, maybe more than we've ever seen on any game before.
Yeah, I think you know, we've admitted and we're pretty open that no one was happy with how Gears 2 performed in online when it came out. You know, I think we made some assumptions, and then the back end didn't hold up, and then it made a poor experience for everyone. And when you have a poor experience right from the beginning, people abandon it right away, and so we don't want to repeat that. And so lots and lots of attention into making sure that that's not there. And at the same time, we want it to not be as intimidating as it used to be, right? Like, you get some people who jump into Gears 2 and they get shotgunned in the face, and then they're kind of discouraged with that they're not very good. And so we try to make it in a way by bringing in Team Deathmatch as an example, where you respawn immediately, so you're right back in the game, you're practicing, you're getting better. You know, hopefully more people will be able to get in there and enjoy it, and it just ultimately makes it better for the whole community.
Now, on the game mode that he's playing right now, what game mode is this?
So we're playing Team Deathmatch. It's 5 versus 5. Wow, I just got blown away by one of the new weapons. That's hard to do. And so this is his new map as well. This is called Old Town. It's kind of this old kind of fishing village. It's a really pretty cool map. In fact, there's if you can find some chickens, sometimes you can find it. Oh, there's a chicken. Those things, you can shoot those and kill those chickens, which is kind of fun, actually. It sounds kind of weird, I know, but it's actually a lot of fun.
Better than choking your chicken.
Yeah. And so the way Team Deathmatch works in Gears is that each team starts with a certain number of respawns. And then each time you die, you use one of those respawns. And the first team that gets down to no respawns left loses the match. And so what's really cool is when you get down to no respawns, it is everyone that's playing, this is their last life, this is their last go. And so you can get in these cool, really tense moments where you have maybe one guy left on one team and 3 guys left on the other team. And so everyone's cheering, you know, on the team that everyone's dead, everyone's cheering for their one guy that's left alive to go kill the other 3. And you get this like great couple of tense moments of, can you do it, can you do it, can you do it? And, you know, and sometimes it can, depends on the player.
Will there be any type of file sharing or anything?
Not in Gears 3. You know, that's something that on the Xbox it's feasible, but it's not super easy, and so it's not somewhere where we wanted to put a lot of focus and attention. We'd prefer to put the focus and attention into other areas. Okay,
now in between the beta and September 20th, what do you feel like is going to be your #1 objective?
It's going to be, you know, we want everyone to come to Gears. We want to be the biggest game of 2011, and so obviously after the beta, it's taking all that feedback that we learned, all that information, and making sure we get it into the real game, into the final game. And then from there, it's putting the final polish on it and getting ready to go out to market, and just making sure everyone knows about how great it is, and trying not to drink our own Kool-Aid and go, yeah, it's going to be great, we know it's going to be great, and just making sure that everyone sees it and gets to know it and wants to be part of it.
Will Gears of War 3 be 3D compatible?
We're always looking at different technologies. So Unreal Engine is something that's going to be 3D compatible. The Xbox will be 3D compatible. You know, we're looking at whether or not Gears will be, yeah.